No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
What's going on, everyone? ForneverWorld here in the future to let you guys know what you're in store for with this video. In case you don't know, I reviewed the entirety of the 1,000-Year Blood War manga chapters from the Bleach series back when they released weekly and Weekly Shonen Jump. So this video, I'm going to be giving you guys basically a blast from the past in order to catch up with the 1,000-Year Blood War Bleach in preparation for the anime. A lot of people are going to be getting into the manga, and I figured, yo, why not take a trip back in time to when I reviewed each and every chapter of this glorious war. That way you know more or less what you're in store for, and at the same time we could revisit an epic and amazing time for shonen manga. So I present to you guys the first 20 chapters of the 1,000-Year Blood War, chapters 480 through 500, the new Shinigami Guardians and the Broken Balance, all the way through to about middle of the fall of the Seireitei. Hope you guys enjoy. Have an awesome one. And so it begins, a new arc, the 1,000-Year Blood War. What's up, everybody? ForneverWorld here today to do a review of Bleach chapter 480, the first chapter in this brand new arc, coming fresh off the full-bring arc. And after a 3-week break, we finally get, the first chapter of this arc, and off the gate they are promoting, just the final arc, 1,000-Year Blood War, a lot of different things, and it starts off already with a bunch of color pages, a color spread. I believe it was like the first 4 pages, the first 3 pages were all in color, and I like the way the presentation of the beginning of the chapter was, opening and basically letting you know this is it, this is the final arc of Bleach, and they're promoting it heavily. So it starts off with the captain of the 12th Division and a couple of other Shinigamis. They're actually in Soul Society, and already stuff is going down. Apparently hollows are disappearing like at an alarming rate, and they're saying that it's a certain party. And, it just kind of cuts off from there. And to start off there, okay, so already we know that there's problems. And, off the gate, it's not going to just slowly creep in. So there's going to be definitely a far departure from the previous arc with the full brings, where, the villains were slowly, already off the gate. First couple pages, stuff is going down, and it's going to get crazy. But then we jump to, the beginning of the chapter, or, the rest of the chapter, shall I say. And it's basically some rookie Shinigamis that they're going to be taking over for, I believe his name is Zanosuke, the guy that, with the afro, that he basically guarded Karakura town or whatever. He always had problems and everything, and he was very unreliable, and I believe that's probably why they're getting 2 replacements for him, 2 of them. I believe one was named Yuki and one was named Shino, and it was funny to see that Shino was kind of because Shino's a girl, Shino was just like bossing Yuki around, not really bossing him around, but just calling him a coward, because Yuki was just like petrified. The night before his first day, he stood up all night, and he was just petrified to be a Shinigami. And it's weird because petrified to be a Shinigami, but this is, I guess, their first couple days, and it was cool to see. It felt like a little refreshing start, some new Shinigami, some new characters and stuff like that. And for the most part, for the chapter, it was just setting up for these 2, and particularly, like, they actually, it seems as though they don't want to bother Kurosaki Ichigo too much, because they're like, we only want to call him if it was absolutely necessary, which is probably them trying to give him what he wants, and at the same time still, if they need him, they will, as far as, let him have his normal life, not always have him go after every single freaking hollow that appears, let him have his normal life, but when we need him, we're going to get him. And, so I kind of see that that's pretty good, and that works out, story-wise, as far as the whole thing of Ichigo being confused, of like, I want to save people, at the same time I want my normal life. Well, he gets the best of both worlds with something like that. So, that aspect, I really thought that was the perfect way to go about with that whole situation. Then basically some hollows appear, and this is their first mission, the first time they got to go out there and prove themselves, and they just don't got it in them so far. From what I've seen, they look like terrible, well, I guess not terrible replacements, because Zanosuke himself, or however you pronounce his name, I forget, he wasn't really that good either. He was always unreliable. Kurosaki always had to come rescue him, Ichigo. So off the gate is not much of an improvement, or really, it's just, hey, another couple of nobodies are going to come and try to do things. And basically, Shino, I believe, is captured by the Hollows, and then Yuki is like getting dusted already, beat up, and about to get killed, both of them. And then, of course, Ichigo comes, and he basically tells them off, like, yo, if you can't even replace this guy and be as good as him, then you're worthless. And, the chapter basically ends like that. But we do see a mysterious, shadowy figure lurking already. So we already got some villains. We see that they're watching. We see that Hollows is appearing. And judging from a lot of the interviews that Kubo has given over the past couple weeks, I'm curious as to exactly what's going on. I feel like already from judging from how it started, I'm kind of wondering if already a couple of villains from the past are coming back or something like that, because the way they described it and everything, I don't know, possibly maybe already the Iran cars. I don't think he would introduce them that quick, but possibly the Iran cars are already coming, back into play and stuff like that. Possibly some of the Espada. So I don't want to jump into that because I think it's way too early for discussion, but definitely things are already starting up in the first chapter. No games. This is already the last arc. It was heavily promoted, and I liked the chapter. I thought it was something, this is the way we're going to start it off, and it didn't start off slow or anything like that. So looking forward to seeing where the arc keeps going, and I'm just really looking forward to enjoying the final arc of Bleach, because at the end of the day, after it's over, it's over. No more new stuff. So let me know what you thought of the chapter. What do you think? What are some of your predictions of how this arc is going to go so far based off this chapter? Any predictions on who, maybe if the villains, we know them, who they might be? And, just overall, what do you think of the situation that's going on based off this chapter, chapter 480 of Bleach? Well, that's all I have for this particular review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up, because we're finally in the final arc, and, definitely deserves, because at the end of the day, Bleach has had its problems, but going into the final arc, I want to be positive about it and, bring good energy to the closure of it. Hey, what's up, everybody? ForneverWorld here today to do my review of Bleach chapter 481. And there was a couple things I liked about this chapter, a couple things I didn't like about it. So it starts off, Lisa and Hiyori are basically talking, and it's kind of like, just chit-chatting, joking around, whatever. But then Hiyori feels like, she says, I smell a Shinigami around or something, and then there's actually like a Shinigami thing or something, like a little hole, and like it's just like this weird vibe. The chapter starts off, then it gets into the center of the chapter. It starts off, and I didn't really like this too much because I don't really care for the characters, and for some reason I really think that Kubo is going to make them a center part of the story. The two rookies that we've seen, I believe Yuki and Shino, and basically they both survive. Orihime healed them. Basically they're not needed. They're just like, I guess, guinea pigs or whatever, because that whole fight with those couple of Hollows, Ichigo and his crew took care of it like nothing. Basically they passed out. Orihime healed them, and that was about it. And there was just a couple of joking things around, seeing a gi guy. Almost, I think that's probably like the first time him seeing his gi guy, Yuki. And I don't know, I just don't really care for the characters too much. And then the ending of the chapter was basically this guy comes in while Ichigo's talking, and then he like interrupts him, and it was kind of like already like the mystery is building up in this basically chapter. Like he introduces himself, he says his name is Ivan, and I like the way the chapter ended though, where Ichigo said, I don't care what it is, but you better get off that bed. Like the way Ichigo ended it, that was pretty badass. Like, I like that little line and stuff. He ended it like that, but I just didn't care for Shino and Yuki. I really don't like those particular characters, especially Yuki. I can manage Shino because she seems like she's a little bit, like she'll fight or whatever, but Yuki, maybe I'll get to like him later on, but I don't like him right now. So basically overall it was a cool chapter. I like seeing, again, we got to see the visor some more. We were talking about a couple other ones, Love and stuff, and we got to see, at the end, that pretty badass line where Ichigo says, you better get off that bed. So overall, it's a pretty cool chapter. Let me know if you've seen it, what you thought of it, what was your favorite moment. What are your thoughts on Yuki and Shino so far? I don't really care for them, but it seems that Kubo is like gonna really try to make them a big part of the story, because even on the cover page, I believe it was Shino and Ichigo, they were standing side by side, and probably later on they're gonna get stronger and stuff, and he'll probably even be like, the next heroes of Katakura Town. So we just gotta wait and see. I'm just hoping that he improves them, because Yuki with his whining and it's like, please stop.
But yeah, that chapter was pretty cool. That's all I have for this particular review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up for Ichigo's badassness at the end where he said, "Get off that bed." Hey, what's up, everybody? ForneverWorld here today to do my review of Bleach chapter 482, and the mystery continues to gather with this particular chapter. We get a couple of new clues, I guess, into what's going on in this one, but for the most part, a lot of mystery keeps on gathering up. So the chapter starts off, of course, where the last one left off. Yvonne, aka Ivan, aka sounds like Eisen, haha, yeah. He's still standing in Ichigo's bed. He's like, "Oh, what did you say again?" And Ichigo says, "I said get off that bed." Epic line from the last chapter. I thought it was kind of cool, carried over once more in the beginning of this chapter. And he's just like, he's like, "Oh, you're not gonna get off my bed." He just kicks him right out the window. Pretty funny stuff, because right after that, his crew is like, chatting all them like, "Oh, we're gonna continue eating this bread. We'll meet up with you in a bit." And he's like, "Oh, this is be over in a bit." So it's kind of funny seeing that, particular comedy, since it's the beginning of the arc, 2-3 chapters in, so that's still allowed and stuff like that. He flies out the window. Yvonne is kind of like thinking he's badass. He's like, "You shouldn't have done that. That was stupid of you." And then he's like, "Don't you want to know what I am or whatever? What's going on?" He's like, "I don't really care. You're probably just in a wrong car or something like that." It's kind of funny, like Ichigo's nonchalant attitude about it. But then he asks him a couple questions, like, "Are you here to take revenge for Eisen? And who are you working for?" and stuff like that. And Yvonne does something that a couple people already has suspected. I've seen quite a few comments, and I myself, kind of started noticing. He pulls out a Quincy cross, and he makes this huge bow and shoots it at Ichigo. My guess so far, based on everything we see, because he did have like that piece of a wrong car, how the wrong cars have that piece of hollow mask on their face, whatever. I'm guessing these Quincy people are possibly getting the hollows and then turning themselves into half a wrong car or something like that, trying to get possibly to the power of Bosto Lords and stuff like that. Exactly, I'm not exactly sure how that would work, but it's crazy to see this crusty Quincy guy, and he doesn't look too formidable, but then again, this is just me judging him based off first appearance and stuff like that. He might be, who knows, maybe he's the next Grimmjow or something like that, but for now, he doesn't really look too much of a threat, especially the way Ichigo's taking him so lightly. And then we see Ikaku and Yumichika, I forget how to pronounce that. They're walking through this town. There's nobody there. It's just completely deserted. And then they see a bunch of footprints, and it's like it stops at a certain area. So that particular part of the chapter kind of puzzles me. What's going on exactly? Like, I guess, again, it goes back to the whole, what Yvonne, stuff like that, how I assume that they're just taking the hollows and trying to turn themselves into, like, these massively powerful people combining themselves. It's looking possibly that way. But still the whole mystery of why are they doing this, and stuff like that. And that particular part of the chapter had me a little bit puzzled. But it's good, this is how Bleach arc, especially the last one. Now this one build up the mystery and stuff like that. And then the chapter ends off in a kind of weird situation. Yamamoto's in his chambers, and a bunch of masked people come, and they declare war on Yamamoto. Wow. It's getting 3 chapters in, and we're already getting to the title of the arc, the 1,000-Year Blood War. Really excited to see where this particular part goes. It's looking very, intriguing and interesting. I hope Kubo could keep on building up the mystery and stuff like that, getting me more intrigued into, why the Quincy's acting, who's in charge. I wouldn't be surprised if Uryu's father has something to do with it, because you never really know with these people. Somebody could be betrayal, stuff like that. With Eisen, it was always, wait, he's here, he's there, so you never really know exactly what route Kubo's going to take with this. It was nice to hear again, like, we keep on, last arc we heard it a couple times, now we hear Eisen's name this time. People are very weary of Eisen, and I really want to see exactly what's going to happen with that, with Eisen and time. And so far, this chapter just really built a lot of mystery, and a lot of more questions were rose in. Again, I kind of have that whole feeling with Yvonne, but we'll have to see. And overall, it's a pretty decent chapter, just building mystery. Cool to see Ichigo already springing into action, jokes and stuff like that, with Chad and them. And, I like that nice little Bleach feel and stuff like that. But the end of the chapter was probably the best part, in my opinion. Yamamoto's in his chambers, and they just all come in there declaring war. And, it's looking like it's going to be a crazy arc, to be honest with you. Let me know what you thought of the chapter. What was your favorite part? Was it the people declaring war against Yamamoto, because that's going to be a big impactful way, especially among Soul Society and stuff like that. Was it the Ikaku or Yumichika scene, and or was it the Ichigo and Ivan stuff? Let me know in the comment section below, or with a video response, give me your thoughts on this particular chapter, or your favorite moment of it, whatever you want to just talk about with this chapter. But that's all I have for this particular review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up for the craziness that it seems this arc is going to be, especially the way this chapter ends. Hey, what's up everybody? ForneverWorld here today to do a review of Bleach chapter 483 based off the J preview. Again, if you don't know, this week I'm supporting Manga Stream's new J preview, so you can go check it out in the description. Basically a detailed synopsis of the chapter with a couple of images, so you can basically get a feel of what the chapter is all about. And just for this particular week I'll be doing this, so again, if you want to check it out, it's in the description. And yeah, so basically this particular chapter, a couple of different things happen. So Ichigo and Ivan basically continue to fight, and apparently Ivan really wants to see Ichigo's bankai, and I'm kind of wondering exactly what it is. Most likely it's something to do with possibly wanting to get to, because again, I really feel that he wants to get to his hollow powers, and they're trying to get hollow powers, because if you remember, again, they have the mask on, well, Ivan has the mask on his face, which makes him seem like an Arankar, but I really think that he wanted to see his bankai, and he's luring him out because he's trying to get his the hollow powers within him, so that he could use it for himself or give it to the Quincy's. And he actually starts, once Ichigo reveals his bankai, he actually starts doing some sort of spell, but Ichigo breaks free from it. And the spell, again, kind of makes me think that's what he was trying to do. He's trying to get, steal the powers away from him so he can use it. Kind of reminds me of what Genjo was doing in the last arc, stealing Ichigo's powers. But, I could be totally off with this, but that's what I'm leaning towards with this whole thing, with the Arankar mask on their face and stuff like that, with the Quincy's. And also in this particular chapter, Yamamoto kind of thinks he's a badass. Basically, they tell him, oh, it was, the people that broke in the last particular chapter and declared war, basically they said that, oh, so why is it so easy to get in here? And Yamamoto replies, because I never hire a guard that isn't stronger than me. And that, to me, that's a pretty beast line, I'm not gonna lie. It kind of made me think, like, yo, Yamamoto, he's, kind of picked up a bit of that cockiness from Ichigo, I think. And basically they were like insulted by that, they're like, oh, really? Well, this is gonna be the last arrogant line you use on us. And I was just like, wow, to be honest with you, reading that Yamamoto is a badass now. I guess, hey, Yamamoto's a badass. And they also took out one of his guards as well. So I think it was Sasakibe, I forget how to say his name, but they took him out as well with a lance. So they're not playing around, to be honest with you. And at the end of the chapter, I believe they declare that within 5 days, Soul Society is going to be demolished, or they're going to destroy Soul Society. It leaves me a lot of questions, because first of all, 5 days, that kind of also makes me think, like, wait, the arc is going to be, expanded within 5 days, if this is the case, as far as, the way they described it, like, in 5 days we're gonna, end it all, or whatever, we're gonna destroy Soul Society. So that would mean that the arc would span over 5 days, unless after their whole plan or whatever, fails or succeeds, or however it may be, then they'll go about with it. So again, that whole 5-day thing's kind of like, oh wow, if this arc is supposedly supposed to last for a few years, or it's the last arc, but I don't know. It seems like they're gonna possibly rush through it if it's within 5 days that Soul Society is gonna get destroyed. And overall, based off the J preview, it seems like it's gonna be it seems like it is an interesting chapter, to be honest with you. We got Captain Yamamoto being a badass. We got Ichigo versus Ivan. Ivan seemingly is trying to do something slick, and like he was really excited to see Ichigo's bankai, which is like, kind of got me again suspicious with the whole thing. And yeah, that's pretty much what I think is going to happen with the Quincy's. I think they're trying to gather hollows or something like that, so that they can get stronger possibly and take down Soul Society. What are your predictions as far as what do you think they're planning? Do you think I'm correct as far as that they're trying to get the hollow powers so that they could get stronger and crush Soul Society? Or, is it something else? Let me know in the comment section below, or with a video response, give me your thoughts on this particular chapter. Again, one more time, I'll say it, you can check it out, the J preview down, or if the chapter is already out, then, just give me your thoughts on what you thought of the chapter. But that's all I have for this particular review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up for this cool chapter. Hey, what's up, everybody? ForneverWorld here today to do my review of Bleach chapter 484, and I gotta say that this was a really good chapter, very interesting, a lot of stuff happened. Alright, so basically in this particular chapter, the fight between, or the mini little scuffle, I guess you could say, between Ichigo and Iwan comes to a close, and it was very interesting because Iwan basically starts screaming, why doesn't his bankai erase or something like that? Why isn't it disappearing? And Ichigo's like puzzled, and he's like, at first I didn't really care about you, but now there's a couple things I gotta. And then Iwan basically like makes this shadow into thin air. It's kind of like what the Ron cards used to do, but it's different because it's like just a shadow of his image. And then he's like going away, and Ichigo's like puzzled there, and he's like, don't worry, this is only for the chosen ones or something, to hide the chosen ones or something like that. And he goes away, and Ichigo's like, what he did was similar to what the Iran cards did, but it's not exactly. And he was a bit puzzled and stuff like that, and that was real interesting. To be honest with you, this chapter almost felt nostalgic, kind of like Kubo was redoing in a way, but in a different way, the whole Iran car stuff and everything, because there was actually a scene that was very, very similar to something Kubo had did in the past with Tozen and Grimjow. Basically, there's Iwan appears in wherever he was going, I guess, and he sees some dude there, and the dude is like, oh, how gracious of you to bow before me. And it was very, very similar, like, not the dialogue necessarily, but the situation and exactly what happened. And Iwan is like, you're serious? Like, do you understand what you're talking to? And the guy is like, oh, whatever. And then basically Iwan cuts dude's arm off, exactly what happened between, I believe it was Tozen and Grimjow, when he cut off Grimjow's arm. And he was like, at first it's like a big bubble, stop! And then like he cuts his arm off. And then there's some dude sitting in the chair and stuff like that. And I'll talk about the Captain Yamamoto stuff in a second, but there's a dude in the chair, and he says something, oh, we're on our mission towards peace or something like that. So, and the thing about it is, it says the Empire King on the corner. Now, is this the Soul King? The person that's been talked about for a while, the king, the keys to the king's, chambers and stuff like that. Who knows? Possibly. I mean, Empire King. I don't know. It could be, and he looks really important. He's sitting there, standing. But that scene in particularly was very reminiscent and nostalgic of the Grimjow Tozen with Aizen sitting on the chair, almost exactly like it. It just felt nostalgic and like really great to see again. To be honest with you, I was really excited. And then we had Captain Yamamoto, the stuff with the people, and basically they fled, and they left without leaving a trace of their Ryatsu. And basically, I forget his name, but the one of Yamamoto's helpers, the guy that got messed up and stuff, he comes in and he says, oh, I gotta tell you something real quick. They could use Bankai. And Yamamoto's like, oh man, like the mystery is gathering up, and it's getting really exciting. This particular chapter, I really liked it. Like, a lot of stuff happened and opened a lot of more questions and stuff like that. And it was very reminiscent to the Iran cards, but on a whole other level, because like, they broke into Yamamoto's, declared war. They were like, I bet you want to know who we are, but we're not going to tell you, obviously. I mean, you should know by now. And, it was just like, wow. I was just, like, amazed. Like, they could use Bankai. They could do things like the Iran card did. At the same time, I don't know. I'm really reluctant and skeptical exactly as to what it could be now, because at first we thought they were Quincy's, but then they have Iran card abilities. Then they can use Bankai. I don't want to say it's the Quincy's anymore, because it kind of seems like they have a mixture of a bunch of different abilities. It's probably a whole different thing. Maybe the Soul King is waging war or something. Maybe, who knows? Maybe that was what Aizen was trying to prevent all along. What if Aizen really wasn't bad? This opens the door for so many possibilities. Of course, we know Aizen was a scumbag and everything, but what about if his true purpose was that he wanted to defeat this guy before he could do something terrible? Because it seems as though this could possibly be the Soul King and him, like, waging war, gonna, like, try to destroy Soul Society. He said in 5 days, that group of people said that. So maybe that's what it could be, and maybe that was Aizen's plan all along. He was trying to stop him. Because they have all this mixed ability. They could Bankai, they have the Quincy abilities, they have, the Iran stuff, they have the Iran mask. So, who knows? Maybe we might see Aizen soon. I'm excited, to be honest with you. I thought this was a really good chapter. One of my most favorite chapters since the time skip, to be honest with you. I really thought it was very well done, very nostalgic, and, just nicely paced, and a lot of content, a lot of mystery and stuff. And it's just main and important to the central story. Not like, don't get me wrong, the Full Brain arc, I don't dislike it or hate it or anything like that, but this is what I'm talking about. I love seeing stuff that involves, Soul Society, the Soul King and stuff like that. And just I think this was really a great chapter, to be honest with you. But let me know what you think. Is that the Soul King at the end, the Empire King, or whatever he was called? I forget. Is that the Soul King? And what do you think? Do you think that he's waging war? And do you think that this could possibly mean that this whole time Aizen had some sort of good goal behind it all to stop him? Let me know in the comment section below, or with a video response, give me your thoughts on this chapter of Bleach 484, because I really enjoyed it. I thought it was awesome. What's up, everybody? ForneverWorld here today to do my review of Bleach chapter 485, and I gotta say that this was probably one of the best chapters Kubo has written, and I don't even know how long this chapter was that good. Another great one. It seems as though Kubo ain't playing around with this arc. He is not playing around, and regardless of everything that's been happening in the media with the anime and everything, Kubo's not playing around this time around with the arc. This chapter was awesome. A lot of stuff went down. So first of all, this Empire King, he is ruthless. He is ruthless. Like, wow, what he did in this chapter, basically he has the dude begging, and I forget his name, it was Luger or something like that. He had dude begging. He was like, oh, you're gonna lay on the ground? He's like, no sir, I'm gonna get on my knees. And I was just like, whoa, this villain is something not to be played with. He is merciless. He does not care. I really like that about this villain so far. So far, this villain is just like, wow. Everything he's doing, the planning, the plotting is just, everything this villain is doing is just to the T. And then, Ivan, the dude that went up against Ichigo, if I'm correct, he was just slaughtered. And then they were like, hey, don't you need more Iran cards and stuff like that? He's like, I get as much Iran cards as I want. Wow, this guy, wow, he's just, this is the villain right here, people. This is gonna go down. Mark my words, Bleach chapter 485. This guy, this Empire King, is going to go down as one of the greatest villains in Bleach. Also in the chapter, we got Ichigo arrives back finally. Got a little bit of comedy going on, little jokes here and there. Chad, Uryu, a bunch of little different things. Ichigo's hungry, a little funny stuff like that. Not too much to go crazy in the chapter, as far as that goes. But there was a lot of other cool stuff, and a lot of sad stuff as well. People saying there's no deaths in Bleach. Sasuke died. Sasuke died. I'm like, oh man. They arrived to tell Yuki basically has to go back. He gets a phone call, not that they arrived. He gets a phone call. He has to go back to Soul Society. And it seems as though they always want to keep Ichigo at arm's length just because he's a substitute. And that's one thing I don't really like about that. Like, substitute Shinigami, he's still a Shinigami. Give him the info. And like, they called because they wanted Ichigo to hear it. But why didn't they just call and say, yo, Ichigo, this is going down? Since Ichigo is, he's so damn strong. Fill him in on exactly all the intel, So, but Ichigo heard everything pretty much that went down in the past couple chapters, more or less, about the people invading. Sasuke is dead. Yuki went back for the funeral. We got a couple more stuff even happened. We got Nell. I'm just like blown away because Kubo really went in with this chapter. Kubo was not playing. We got Nell shows up, flying out of the sky, falling on Ichigo. And then probably one of the most craziest parts is Hueco Mundo was already taken over by the Empire King. Wow. Wow. Again, another reason why this villain is impacting. It's just like, he's done so much already. He already got Hueco Mundo, and he's like, in 5 days, we're invading. And then another big part, like this is, yeah, definitely, it's looking like this is going to be the chapter of the week. I never do anything like that, but this is definitely Bleach 485 is probably going to be the best chapter because I don't see any other way that they could top what Kubo did with this chapter. Holly Bell is tied up and captured by the Empire King, and probably he has her probably because she don't want to listen to him and whatnot, but Holly Bell is tied up and captured. Well, obviously he got to be strong because, he got Holly Bell. He conquered Hueco Mundo. I'm blown away. Like, thumbs up for Kubo. Kubo went in. He is not playing. He threw in so much in this chapter. This is going to go down as one of the best chapters. Hopefully the arc just continues to keep on getting better and better because so far the 1,000-Year Blood War is like on an amazing pace. I am just like, Kubo, you are definitely showing people that, okay, people that were not satisfied with the last arc, the Hogenjo, Tsugishima, all the full ring stuff, fine. This arc he's not playing. Amazing chapter, awesome stuff. Can't wait to see what's going to happen next. Hopefully Kubo keeps on going and going because this chapter oh my gosh, my mind is blown, people. Let me know what you thought of it. Favorite moment? Was it Holly Bell, Nell, Sasakibe's death, Hueco Mundo being conquered, Yvonne getting slaughtered, this dude groveling at the Empire King's feet? So much amazingness. Let me know your favorite moment. Comment section below. Video response. It's going down, people. Bleach 485, amazing. Hey, what's up, everybody? ForneverWorld here today to do my review of Bleach chapter 486. Now, this continues from where the last one left off, and basically a lot of plans are being put together in order to see, you know, exactly what's going on and how they're going to execute going about with this, because basically we already know a lot of stuff that's going on. Apparently, Haribel was basically running Hueco Mundo since Baragon and Stark were killed, so she was just like governing it, and then basically they just came in and swooped her away, and I'm just like, man, I bet you anything people wouldn't have been really like with this foul taste in their mouth about Bleach if this arc was the one that started right after Aizen's defeat. But the thing about it is, you needed Fullbring to give this break so all this actually could happen. So to me, I think everything was spaced out perfectly well, and like little by little with each chapter, I'm kind of getting exactly Kubo's setup and everything, what he was doing. We needed a break between arcs, so all this stuff like Haribel being the governor of this, and then them, you know, invading Hueco Mundo and conquering it. We needed that break. We needed an arc in between. So I think that the Lost Shinigami arc definitely served its purpose with that, and you know, it's giving us all this great content because now all this stuff that happened in between is just amazing. We're finding out, and then basically Pesce, I forget how to say the name exactly, arrives as well, and it's just funny because it's basically just reiterating what Nell said, and I'm just like, okay. But you know, it's crazy because Ichigo is already planning to break into Hueco Mundo, and Uryu is like, nah, I'm not going. And then, you know, there's a little banter between them, and we already know Uryu with all his Quincy stuff, so it's not too surprising that he would say that, but you know, we'll see what happens. And Urahara shows up and he's like, oh, I'm here, you ready to go to Hueco Mundo? And the thing about it is that I think Urahara's actually going to go with him this time, because at the end of the chapter, at the very bottom page, it says, next chapter, Ichigo and Urahara this army invade Hueco Mundo. So we're going to see exactly what goes on with that. We also see that this Empire King, again, another example of him being ruthless. He talks about Arankars like if they just garbage, like, which shows like how strong is this guy. I keep on thinking, like, every chapter that passes, like, how strong is he? He's talking about them like they're garbage, like, go get some of those bottom feeders and bring them over here. Don't kill them though, make sure you don't kill them, just bring them so we could use them. And like, he is just like, he doesn't care. And the thing about it is that they're investigating Ichigo's not Ichigo's, Yvonne's, I guess, medallion, because he used it basically, and when you use it, I guess it shows that he couldn't take Ichigo's bankai from him, and they're wondering exactly why, and they're plotting how they're going to take his bankai. And overall, this was just another setup chapter into probably some crazy action within the next couple of chapters to come, because Ichigo's getting ready to break into Hueco Mundo. This Empire King guy is like getting ready. Everybody's just getting ready with this chapter, and I'm really excited for the action. That's really now what I'm looking forward to, seeing some crazy stuff. I really want to see this Empire King like go up against somebody that's somewhat formidable, so we can see it demonstration, like you know, a nice demonstration of exactly how strong he is. And I keep on thinking, like, if this guy is this strong, we're gonna need Aizen or something, because I don't know. I don't know if Ichigo and the crew can take out this guy, because he is just like, he's sounding like a monster every chapter, this Empire King guy. Let me know what you thought of the chapter. What do you think about this Empire King guy? Do you think that this Empire King guy is this strong that we're going to actually need somebody like Aizen to come and, like, you know, I guess help out? Even though I don't know if they would actually do that. And also in the chapter, I forgot to mention real quick, Yamamoto is basically really down. And basically for a big part of the chapter, we got Byakuya. He's giving like a speech, and he's just telling Renji and talking about Sasakibe, of how he never became captain because he wanted to be, I guess, by Yamamoto's side and stuff like that. So that was a really sad part of the chapter. I thought that was, and the way he put it, I was just like, oh wow, you know, it's pretty sad stuff. But again, favorite moment, what was it? Was it the whole burial for Sasakibe with the speech? Was it, you know, Ichigo getting ready to go to Hueco Mundo? Or was it the Empire King talking, like, just all reckless? Let me know in the comment section below, or whatever the response. Give me your thoughts on Bleach chapter 486. Hey, what's up, everybody? ForneverWorld here today to do my review of Bleach chapter 487. And off the gate, this chapter to me had a real oppressing feel to it, and it's definitely a lot more mature than I think we've seen Bleach be in a while, because to be honest with you, it felt just like one of those old 1980s movies where it's just like you get this feeling of like, oh man, some military craziness going on in it, because basically Ichigo, Urahara, and Pesh and them, they invade Hueco Mundo, and from the jump when they get there is like dead bodies. We don't really see too many. We see, I think, like one dead body hanging there, which for Bleach, for a shonen series is already crazy to see like dead bodies there. And to be honest with you, I think with the anime of Bleach being over for the time being, Kubo's editor is probably allowing him to go a little bit darker with the series and a little bit more edgy, because now he don't gotta worry about it being on TV too much, or at least for the moment right now, maybe it'll be on DVD or something. But because this chapter right here really just had this Nazi creepy, like I felt like, oh man, this is just horrible how the Roncards are being treated. And Ichigo immediately, like, he doesn't care that these were his enemies. At one point, Urahara and Chad are like laughing about it, like not laughing about it, but like joking, like, doesn't he realize these were once his enemies? And so that part of the chapter, like, we need little hints of comedy in this, because to be honest with you, I felt like this was a really like oppressive feel to, like, for Bleach. We see these commander guys, they're just treating the Ironclads like garbage, talking about lick my boots if you want to live and you want to be a part of the army. Man, this is just like, Kubo's definitely onto something, like, this is something pretty different for Bleach. Like, don't get me wrong, we have a familiarity with it, because the fact that, like, it kind of feels like, oh, we're invading Hueco Mundo all over again, getting back in there, but it is a lot darker. And this guy, to be honest with you, is making me wish Aizen was around right about now, because Aizen was messed up, Aizen did what he did, but I don't know, this guy and his army, they're pretty disgusting. They're really, like, the way they're treating these Iran cards is horrible. Then we got, I believe it was Loli and Manoli, if I'm correct. Hopefully I'm saying the names right. They're a part of the Iran cards that are there, and they try to fight them off, and they get just beat up and like dragged away like nothing. But then the way the chapter ends gives me a little bit of hope, and it's like a resistance, and it really feels like Kubo is doing something very, very different. I'm loving the way he's approaching this arc. It's something, a new feel to Bleach, because at the end, Holly Bell's section appears, the couple of girls, and they was just like, oh, you dare talk bad about Holly Bell, because they were like talking crap, and like they asked about their names, like, who are you guys? They said, why are you speaking as if there's multiple, like individuals? We're like, one, and it's gonna go down. I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen, because to be honest with you, I just feel like, man, this is one oppressing chapter. It's just like nonstop, like just. I don't even know, to be honest with you. It's hard to describe this type of feel, but definitely something different. I'm liking the approach. It's something darker a bit, even more so than the Shinigami, Lost Substitute Shinigami, because that had its dark feel, but this is just like some Nazi chamber type creepy shit. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where it goes. Let me know what you thought of the chapter. What did you think? What was your favorite moment? Was it like just these filthy Nazis? Was it a couple of jokes in the beginning with Ichigo and Chad and stuff like that? Or was it the end, seeing Holly Bell's section appear, and like they're ready to combat, they're trying to resist these Nazi type of people from taking over, well, they were already pretty much taken over, but from continuing their wrath. Let me know in the comment section below, or with a video response, give me your thoughts on this very, once again, oppressive chapter, Bleach 487. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up if you're really liking the way this arc is turning out, because it's something very dark and different for, Kubo and Bleach. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. Okay, so this was totally chapter of the day for me. What's up, everybody? ForneverWorld here today to do my review of Bleach, chapter 488, and this chapter was awesome. Once again, this arc is looking like it's gonna be some very great stuff. Amazing chapter. Okay, so basically, we see that the three, disciples of Holly Bell, whatever, her followers, are basically going to go up against that captain guy from the Von Derek, or however you pronounce it. And basically, he's like, hey, if you want, you could join our group. We know that you're very strong. You could be on the Holly Bell. It's a dream come true. Join us. And they're like, no, And it's funny because we got a little bit of comedy going on. They're fighting amongst each other. That's a part of their, I guess, personalities and stuff. And I was just like, oh. But I knew, as much as I wanted them to win, I knew they were not going to win, and this is why. If they captured Holly Bell, they got her captured, then what makes you think that they're going to be able to stop them. You know, if they're her followers, Haribel is stronger than them, then obviously they wouldn't have been able to do anything. I was just like, man, when I saw them all messed up, they're beat up, I was just like, yo, these are, like, this is an incredible, you know, force to be reckoned with. They're just not taking any prisoners. It was just awesome. And we have a confirmation. I mean, we all more or less knew, but it wasn't for certain that they were, the group is Quincy's, because we was like, wait, they're Quincy's. They have Quincy powers, but they also could do a bunch of other things. So exactly what's going on. But one of the captains, I believe, of the 12th Division, Mayuri, I believe that's how you pronounce him, he basically confirmed that they are indeed Quincy's with other powers as well. You know, they could stop the bankais. And I was just really enjoying, like, Yamamoto was like, he was like, do we know their location? Oh, you know, because he's just angry. You know, Sasuke's death really got to him, I believe. And that's something really, to see Yamamoto this out of his element, it's getting crazy. It's like, kind of like when Aizen invaded, but I think that they're doing a better job than Aizen, to be honest with you. And he's just like, okay, we can't invade them because we don't know their location, but everyone get ready. We're not going to let them get the first move again. Man, this is turning out to be something great. I didn't really care too much for the banters between Ichigo and Nell. I wasn't really, like, too entertained by that. I was more so excited about, you know, Haribel's disciples versus that general guy from the Von the Wreck. I didn't really care for the Ichigo Nell stuff, but I did enjoy seeing at the end, after they got defeated, Ichigo pops up and he's like, oh, now it's Shinigami. This is a fun day. These guys are a threat, and I'm loving it. It's just really, really good. I'm loving seeing all the captains, like, oh man, you know, they're getting suited up. It's about to go down. This is going to be crazy. He's like, we're not even, because they said, you know, in 5 days, but we can't even trust them, Yamamoto was saying. So this is turning out to be something incredible. I love the way that, you know, there's action. There's a little bit of funny stuff between them fighting throughout the entire chapter. You know, the three, I guess, friends, comrades, whatever you want to call them. And to see that they lost, oh, man. I know everyone's looking forward to seeing Grimmjow. I'm looking forward to seeing Grimmjow. I don't know exactly how much he's going to be able to do unless he's gotten a great deal stronger, if he is brought back, in fact, because simple fact that he was, what, the 4th Espada, I believe? He was either 4th or 5th. I believe 4th or 6th. He might have been, no. He might have been 6th. I'm not sure exactly. I believe 4th was Ukiura. He might have been 6th. And Haribel was the 3rd Espada. So what really can he do? I'm not really sure. Hopefully he's gotten a lot stronger. Maybe, you know, he's formed the resistance with a big group or something. If he does, in fact, come back, because we know Kubo has mentioned he plans on bringing him back at some point. I'm looking forward to it, but I don't know exactly what he's going to be able to do, because if he's like 4th or 6th or something, then he's not going to be able to do much, because Haribel couldn't do much. She's already captured. And it's just looking like an incredible war. Definitely my favorite chapter of the day between the big three. I might do this from now on, say which one, especially with this much of a margin of how much I enjoyed this chapter compared to the others this week. Good job, Kubo, man. I hope he keeps doing this up, because this was very enjoyable. It's making the war even more like, oh, I can't wait. You got Yamamoto out of his element. You just got, everything is in motion for a very, very good war, man. I really hope it just keeps on going this good. And we got this, you know, these Von the Wrecks look like they're some monsters. Let me know what you thought of this chapter. Did you think that it was really good? What was your favorite part of it? What did you think about them losing? Did you feel that they had any chance to get this Von the Wreck in Von the Wreck general? Did you think they could have won, or was it like appropriate the way, you know, they were just all slaughtered there since Haribel was already, you know, defeated? Let me know in the comment section below, or with a video response. Give me your thoughts on Bleach chapter 488 and, you know, just the craziness that is this arc. 3 weeks in a row, and Tite Kubo delivers once again with Bleach chapter 489. What's up, everybody? ForneverWorld here today to do my review of Bleach 489, and wow, Kubo delivers once again. And I have so much faith in the Bleach manga now, because it's already been, like, I think this is the 3rd week straight where I've kind of felt like the Bleach chapter was #1 amongst the other mangas that I review. I just been really like, wow, Kubo stepped up like his game by a billion. So basically with this particular chapter, some of the things that I thought was amazing was Ichigo, he's fighting that captain guy, and I'm like, okay, where is this gonna go? But then the leader of the Von the Wrecks, he basically says, oh, so he's occupied, and then he gets up off his throne and he's like, this is a perfect time, we're gonna go invade Soul Society. Even though he had just recently declared that it'll take 5 days before, like, you know, this massive destruction So he's already gonna go. And I remember in the previous chapter, Yamamoto was talking about, oh, we're gonna try to make the first move. But if the Von the Wreck is already getting up, he's gonna go over there, and oh, it's gonna be crazy. When that Von the Wreck shows up, first of all the captains are already getting ready. You know, they're getting set up for a battle. And if he comes through there, it's just gonna be a brawl, man. I can't wait for it. Kubo is setting up some greatness. I really hope he keeps on delivering. And then the thing at the end with Mayuri, one of the captains, when he was talking to Yamamoto, they're kind of going back and forth on whose fault is all this. And then Mayuri says something like, no, at the end it's your fault for letting that guy live 1,000 years ago. I wonder exactly what he's talking about. I really wonder exactly what he's talking about. I think it's something to do with he let one of the Quincy's live many years ago, and it was somebody that had a bad grudge against all of them, against Soul Society, against everything. So it's gonna be, you know, more revelations. I like the way Kubo set that one up, because it's like, it grabbed my interest. The way he set it up was just really good stuff. Then basically, for the most part in the beginning of the chapter, is just really them talking about speculation and footprints on like these. There was bare footprints, and then there was sandal footprints. So everything is just a lot of mystery gathering up. I really like that the Von the Wreck is like, he's not even waiting. He's like, oh, Ichigo is out there. I wonder exactly what he means by that though. That Ichigo, like, does he think that maybe Ichigo would pose a threat to him? That's why he wanted to distract him, and that's why he feels like this is the perfect opportunity. Or is it something else? Maybe he doesn't want to kill him. I'm really not sure about that, but the suspense was awesome in this one. Art was, you know, there. It wasn't too much really like going on like action pack or nothing. It was mostly like dialogue, but some great dialogue nonetheless. And just Kubo has really got me impressed. I'm really impressed, honestly. This arc is looking like it's gonna be something great. Unfortunately, the anime had to end before this arc. I don't understand that, but this chapter really 2 thumbs up. Kubo is like, he's pwning the game right now. And maybe I sound like a Bleach tar with this, but this chapter really was something great. Like Captain Yamamoto, these secrets that he got, I want to know more about it. The Von the Wreck is coming. I want to see what's going to happen. I'm excited. What did you think of this chapter? What was your favorite moment? Do you think that when the Von the Wreck shows up, he's going to just put in work and just start destroying people? And what do you think about this whole secret that Yamamoto, the guy that he didn't kill 1,000 years ago, do you believe it's a Quincy or the original leader of the Quincy's that hates Shinigamis? Or, you know, what is your whole opinion on this whole thing? And what do you think of the overall chapter? Do you think that really Kubo is stepping in the right direction towards possibly a classic arc? Let me know in the comment section below, or with a video response, give me your thoughts on the latest Bleach chapter. So after Bleach chapter 490, all I got to say is Kubo's back. Kubo's back. What's up, everybody? ForneverWorld here today to do my review of Bleach chapter 490. And it's been like, what, over a month already, where we've had consistent Bleach chapters be quality, exciting, crazy, just mind-blowing. Alright, so this chapter, for one thing I want to say, is that it was short. That's one of the only complaints I have about this chapter, that it was short. I believe about 15 pages or so, and I was just like, come on, man. 2 more pages, 3 more pages, and you would have had really just something that would have left me like, alright, I'm good until the next one. But nonetheless, it was a great chapter. One of the things that really had me was it brought one of the main characters in and added more developments for later on. Basically, when Ichigo is going up against one of the Vanden Reich. I believe I'm saying it right now, because a lot of people keep saying he's saying it wrong. It's not Von the Wreck. So I believe it's Vanden Reich. And he's going up against, you know, that captain guy, and he says, oh, your bows are a lot stronger than Uryu's, and he says that's impossible. And right there, that lets, you know, the way he said it led me to believe that Uryu was probably phenomenally strong, and there's just something that's holding him back, or there's some sort of thing that says your potential, and he has potential to be phenomenally strong. But like I said, I believe one of my previous videos about Bleach, I said that I believe Uryu was going to be a pivotal part in this arc, and nonetheless this chapter again proved my point, because the way he said it, when he said about Uryu, he said that's impossible. There's, you know, Uryu, he's gonna be very important. I believe he's gonna be very strong, and is gonna come out of nowhere, and it's gonna be great, because I love adding character development to a character that's been around, you know, since practically the beginning. So that's really awesome right there. And then he goes into this mode, I forget exactly what it was called, but it was something, I believe, the final holy mode, where he is just like, he looks like an angel or something, and he's gonna go up against Ichigo, and his orders are to kill Ichigo, and that's basically where the whole chapter surrounds. Ichigo throws Nell at Inoue, and that was pretty funny. I was like, you see Nell with the X eyes and stuff. And overall, this chapter was just really getting me pumped and excited. So many questions thrown out there for me, like, what part is Uryu going to play exactly? Why did he say that like that? Is Uryu just phenomenally strong beyond belief? Because, you know, this guy is pretty strong. He took out Holly-Bell, he took out a lot of these people. So if that's impossible, him saying that, making it seem as though Uryu is way stronger than him, you know, you get where I'm going with this? Uryu is probably a lot stronger, and that's pretty exciting because I haven't always been the fondest of the Uryu character, but to see that he's going to have this massive power-up and more character development and see exactly where it goes with it, and his ties to the Wandan race, exactly why do they know of him and all that, that's going to be great. Again, his father's going to have something to do with it, I just know it. And overall, this chapter really just got me pumped. I want to see Ichigo throw down with this guy some more now that he's in this holy mode, because they were throwing down a little bit there. We got a little taste more of the fight, but I really want to see this holy mode in action, Ichigo going up against him, and I want to learn more about Uryu, because that just really was the hook, line, and sinker for me. I was just like, wow, you know, Kubo back. Kubo back. Shout outs to my peoples for that. That's some crazy song they made, because that's all I keep thinking. These past couple chapters, Kubo been on fire. It's been... Bleach has been awesome, and this chapter, nonetheless, again, got action, got a little bit of comedy with Nell and stuff like that. You got suspense with Uryu. Exactly what does that mean when he said it was impossible? Does that mean that Uryu was potentially strong enough to take out freaking the Espadas, even though that kind of... Why couldn't he tap into that strength in the previous arcs? But whatever. I'm just excited. Let's see more of this, Kubo. That's all I want to see. More of this, and a little bit longer. 15 pages. Come on, let's get 18 to 20 pages. And yeah, craziness, epicness. Kubo's back. Let me know what you thought of this chapter. What do you think about this whole thing of Uryu's power? Do you think he's strong beyond belief, or he has some hidden power within him? And what are your overall thoughts of this chapter? Did you think it was great? And is Kubo on fire, or what? Let me know in the comment section below, or with a video response, give me your thoughts on Bleach chapter 490. The whole time while I was reading this chapter, I kept thinking, oh man, if only this would get animated someday. What's up, everybody? ForneverWorld here today to do my review of Bleach 491. And greatness again. Basically, this whole chapter was Ichigo fighting the guy from the Wandan race, or Rex, or whatever the heck you say it. And basically, they're going at it. And he is just like, he has this god complex or something, because the way he is throwing around his power and talking down about Uryu stuff or whatnot, I was just like, whoa. Basically, those gloves that Uryu used that kind of like messed up his powers and whatnot, he put those down. He said, oh, that's like 2,000 years ago we stopped using that. We advanced now. The Quincy's aren't even on that. We got some new stuff. And then it's funny because Ichigo threw a joke back at him that was kind of funny, where he's like, oh, well, if Uryu had some wings like that, I'd probably kill him by accident. And, you know, had some comedy in the chapter. The action was pretty awesome. I just really would love to see this animated someday, because, you know, we got story progression at the same time of fighting, so it's not just like standing still, they're going at it. And Ichigo throws a Getsuga Tensho, and even the guy craps on him. He's like learn to aim when you're throwing that. And I was like, oh man, you know, he's telling Ichigo off. This was a great one again. We got Otohime and Chad on the sidelines, and basically he's doing some maneuver that just sucks up all the energy, all the Ryatsu around, and he's, I guess, going to use some ultimate attack on Ichigo, and Ichigo better get prepared, because it's going to be one hectic ride, so to speak. Overall, man, you know, not too much to say, because for the most part it was just like a little bit of learning stuff. Urahara mystery, you know, I can't tell you where I learned it from or whatnot. Urahara, every arc and everything always just to me becomes more and more mysterious. And one day I got a feeling there's something up with that character, but that's a side note. And chapters just really was like intense battle going back and forth, and we learned about the gloves that Uryu had. It wasn't too much content, but just the fighting was pretty awesome. It was like one of those chapters where got a little bit of backstory on stuff, but for the most part it was just epic battles. That is like, why did the Bleach anime have to end right before this arc? Like, this is one of the best arcs in forever. Possibly at the end of it, it'll be up there with Soul Society, and we're not getting this animated. I don't understand that. There's chapters like this where I would love to see, Ichigo throwing Getsuga Tensho. This guy comes out of nowhere, tells him, you can't even aim it right. He's sucking all the Ryatsu around. This is stuff that we need animated. We need this stuff, and from the looks of it, we're not even, or it's going to be a while before we get stuff like this animated, because it was just really some crazy epic battles and epic fights. Then at the end of the chapter, we got basically the 3 girls that are Holly Bell's, crew. They're still not defeated. That was pretty awesome that he didn't kill them off just yet. They were like, all beat up and whatnot, but they came back, and they came back with the big monster, Aeon, I believe that's how you say it. And, I believe Aeon even gave a punch to the guy in the face, and that was right there like, next chapter is going to get heated. I feel like this is almost kind of in a way like the previous arc, the war arc and whatnot, except just like more intensified, more dramatic, and just overall more epic. I feel like he's taking elements, Kubo, and like putting them together and making it work this time around. Like, it's actually like, everything is exciting, everything is explosive, and the characters are just fitting well within the story. And this chapter nonetheless proved just that. When they come back, it's like they weren't defeated that easily. They came back with their monster, and it's going to go down next chapter. Is Ichigo going to team up with the monster to fight him? I don't really know. Probably, but I think they're going to tell Ichigo stand back, and then once Aeon and the guy go out here, I'm sure he's even going to beat Aeon, unfortunately, even though I would love to see that monster take him down. But I think he's going to get him next chapter, and then Ichigo's going to have to step in, because he's probably just going to annihilate those 3 girls in the next chapter. Because if he already defeated them before, he just didn't kill them, then, I mean, second breath, you never know. They might be able to do some damage him, but I see either, or second possibility is he might retreat because there's too many people. Got Ichigo, you got the monster, you got the 3 girls, then not to mention Chad and Orihime. Things could get crazy, so it's possible that he might stand down and, retreat and whatnot. I don't think he will, because Buckbeard wouldn't like that at all, and I'm sure Buckbeard will probably kill him if he does return without completing the mission. So he might ride or die with this one. Who knows? What you thought of the chapter? Was it awesome? The battles? Don't you wish this was, animated? Because that's all I kept thinking with this chapter. That's all I have for this quick review. It was pretty awesome. Fight scenes was good. Wish there would have been a little bit more backstory as far as with the whole glove thing and whatnot, but we did get a nice amount, enough to understand more of Uryu when he lost his powers and whatnot, and is building up again the Uryu character. He might do something crazy in this arc. There might be more power to him, just with all these references and whatnot. But I'm ForneverWorld. That's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up if you thought this was another crazy chapter and you would love to see it animated someday. Have an awesome day, people. Crazy action with Bleach chapter 492. Oh, man. Alright, so with this particular chapter, we got 2 different things, and I kind of got mixed emotions about the chapter. On one half, I'm like, Aeon, the monster, went crazy. On one hand, I'm like, yo, the action was awesome. It was like something really cool to look at, I guess you could say. But then on the other half, I was like, why did we get this, I guess, flashback, or not flashback, recap of Soul Society's history with the Quincy's and whatnot. One of the things about the new arc that I don't like, and it was displayed in this chapter, is particularly a character, shall I say, the new character, Yuki. I feel like he's almost like just a hand to guide new viewers that just started reading the manga or whatnot and haven't read previous stuff, because every time he's around, it's a recap, it's a lesson, and the character to me just like ruins moments. Like, we had this awesome stuff. This monster's going crazy. You know, Aeon is going ballistic, destroy this bonding race guy, and then we need to hear of you know, the history about it from one of the guys from the 13th Division, the 6th seat. I forget what his name is, but he's telling the, you know, 200 years ago, the Quincy's, this and that. It's like, it's cool, we already know. I just want to see that epic battle that's going on right now. And you know, talk about the battle in particularly. Forget about that whole flashback thing, or not flashback, I keep calling it flashback, recap or whatnot of the Quincy's and stuff, but the battle, oh man, it's like Kubo really, I think without an anime, he's allowed to go a lot darker. That's just the only explanation, because like this fight, everything has been a lot darker, shall I say. Aeon just smashed that guy to like pieces. He looked like he was just like, well, he was in one piece, but like his neck was snapped, his arm was snapped and everything. I was like, wow, Kubo's definitely allowed to go a lot darker. And then when he's all smashed up, and I knew, come on, that's how shonen manga is, that he's not going to be dead or whatnot. He's going to probably get back up. One of them is bragging, one of the girls from Holly Bell's, you know, crew, is like, yeah. And then he just slices her right through her neck. I was like, wow. Oh, man, the battles is getting more gruesome, more intense. There was no Ichigo in this chapter, surprisingly. We saw, I think, Chad and Orihime, but there was no Ichigo in this chapter. But the battle is like, it's getting gruesome, it's getting violent, it's getting bloody. If you are weak at heart and you do not like this stuff, do not read this arc any further, because I can tell you right now, I see what Kubo is doing, and he is going in a very gruesome direction based off this fight. Like, that monster was not playing. Oh man, I think, wait, did we get Ichigo in the chapter? We might have got Ichigo in the chapter, I'm not really sure, but I know that the sisters was like, Aeon doesn't discriminate, so if you don't want to get hurt, I suggest you get back, because, you know, he was just going ballistic, because, you know, that's what he does. And it was definitely a crazy fight. That's what made the chapter for me, because I didn't really care for, like, I felt like it was kind of a bit of a waste to get, like, I think 5, maybe 6, 7 pages of the guy telling, you know, 13th Division 6th seat telling Yuki about the history. So that for me wasn't a good part of the chapter, but I really enjoyed the fight, looking at that, you know, just seeing him smashed up in pieces, and then him get up like nothing, and then saying that he's going to they're going to need some stronger reinforcements, as he can tell, because this guy just smashed him up. And, oh, man, Kubo's going with a lot of German stuff, I noticed, because he said something that, and the editor translated it and said it was another German word. And I've noticed Kubo lately has been in putting a lot of German references. I don't know exactly why, because even back in the, if you can recall, in the, I guess, Substitute Shinigami arc, there was stuff where people were like, wait, isn't that German? The Nazi whole swastika looking thing, when Ichigo was using his Fullbringer. So I guess just Kubo has been inspired by like German history or whatnot, and that was again displayed in this chapter. I believe it was a blood cloth or something that they said, not Ichigo, one of the characters said something about a blood cloth. So Kubo's really inspired by German stuff, I guess. I don't know. Overall, the chapter was mixed emotions. I liked the fight stuff. It was epic and gruesome and violent, and, you know, something when you want to see an awesome fight, that's what it was. But the stuff with the, you know, the recap stuff, I could have done without. But nonetheless, craziness, another one. Looking forward to next week, seeing where this goes. And this Von and Race guy is really, like, if he smashed up and his neck is snapped and everything, then what's going to take to defeat him? You're going to have to wipe out every particle of this guy or something. Craziness. What did you think of the chapter? What did you think of Aeon's fight with him? Do you think Kubo is getting a lot more gruesome and darker with the fights and stuff based off this fight? And, you know, just your overall thoughts of everything. Bleach chapter 493 was beast. Oh, man, I just got done reading the chapter, and I gotta say that this chapter was freaking epic. We got some crazy fights, and then the end of the chapter left me like, wow. Kubo is heating things up early because, you know, this is going to be a long arc, I assume, but he is already making moves. We got, Buckbeard making moves. Kurge is going crazy. And, alright, so basically Kurge takes all of Aeon's Ryatsu and forms himself into this nasty-looking monster creature. And it's crazy because, you know, Honeywell's people and whatnot, they're going to get destroyed. They are, like, running for cover. They're like, no, we can't go up against this guy. You know, they're hiding. They took Chad and Norihime and went in some, I guess, barrier that's supposed to hide them, and he just breaks in. And he's like, this guy is like a creepy monster. He is not letting them get away for nothing. He breaks through there, and when he did that, I was immediately like, whoa, you know, because at first I'm thinking, okay, you know, they got away, they're hiding for the moment, and then bam, he comes right in, and I was just like, ugh. The battles in here was crazy. Ichigo breaks, you know, comes in and says, well, maybe if I break your head, you won't be able to do that anymore. And I was just like, and then, you know, he's even bad-mouthing Ichigo. He's like, you know, you really are annoying. I was just like, how are you calling Ichigo annoying? Oh, man, this was a great chapter. Definitely a great one. You know, the fights is heating up. Kurge's power kind of leads me to believe, I wonder if that's everybody else's power that, you know, from the those Quincy's and whatnot that won the race, or is that just Kurge's in particular to, I guess, absorb the Ryatsu and become whatever they, you know, absorbed, because he looks like a mixture of himself and Aeon, this really disgusting creature. And he was like, I don't even like doing this because my wings become this dirty, filthy, whatever the heck he said. And I was just like, yo, Kurge is becoming quickly one of my, not favorite villains, but one of my most anticipated villains. Like, I want to see what he's going to do next. I want to know what's going to happen next, because the fight between him and Ichigo gets cut off midway, and I'm like, no, I want to see more. I want to see more of this fight, because, you know, Haribel's crew is running. They're like, we can't do nothing. You know, they hiding with Chad and Orihime. We know Orihime and Chad really ain't going to be able to do much against this guy. And Ichigo goes Bankai. Is like, you know, Ichigo went Bankai, so that means this isn't no pushover. And I just want to see the results of this fight. That's how much I'm so, like, excited about this. I want to see the results. Who is going to win? Is Ichigo going to be defeated by Kurge? You know, it's possible he could defeat him, and then Ichigo might need to train again or something, but either way, it's crazy. And then the end of the chapter is what left me like, next week, it's going to be an apocalypse. It's going to be crazy, because basically we cut back, and for a moment, I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, are you kidding me? Because it cuts from the fight between Ichigo and Kurge, this massive battle, and then we see Yuki, you know, the new Soul Reaper, whatnot, the new Shinigami, and he's like walking around, and, you know, he's with everybody gathering around, getting ready for this, for, you know, anybody want to invade and whatnot. And I'm just thinking, are we really going to get like another explanation with Yuki and whatnot? I was about to get really annoyed with that, but then they're all gathering around talking about, you know, where people could invade and whatnot, and Buckbeard is like, yeah, you're exactly right, definitely, or something. He's just in the air, and they're like, oh my gosh, and they're like, but don't worry, he can't break through the barrier, because, you know, they got a barrier, and he's already in the barrier, and he's just standing there like a freaking monster. Next chapter is going to be apocalyptic. Ah, man, like, we got two different things going on, and I don't even know how Kubo's going to divide the chapter, but at least do like what he did this chapter, maybe a little bit less. I want like half the chapter to be Kurge versus Ichigo, and half the chapter to be, or even the whole chapter. Heck, I just really want to see Buckbeard's invasion. You know, how many people is he going to take out? What's going to go down? Because, oh man, he's invaded already. I don't even know how he slipped through. It's like if these Quincy's have, like, you know, how many abilities. It's, you know, it's just crazy. I hope there's a good explanation for that, though. I hope it's just not like, hey, you know, he's in here. I hope there's like a decent explanation. It's gonna be crazy. I want to see, you know, who's gonna go up against Buckbeard first. Which captain? Are they all gonna go at him at once? Is Yamamoto gonna be just like, you know, stand back, let me do this? I want to see what's gonna go down. Either way, he's in their territory, so it's gonna be awesome. Not much else to say about the chapter except epic, apocalyptic, and next week is gonna be probably even more awesome. I'm so excited that the 1,000-Year Blood War is turning out this way, and, you know, every chapter just keeps on increasing, you know, with the epicness and the battles and the intensity and whatnot. So, craziness. What did you think, though? What, you know, were you excited to see that Buckbeard invaded already? And what do you think about Kurge? Do you think he's gonna be able to defeat Ichigo, or you think Ichigo's gonna pull a win somehow? They could possibly all like jump him. I want to see also Ichigo use his hollow powers. We haven't seen the hollow powers in forever. You know, what's going on with that? I want Kubo to explain that eventually too, because if he's getting into an intense battle with Kurge and he somehow can't win, then let's see those hollow powers. 1,000 deaths, 7 minutes. Bleach 494. Oh man, this chapter. Alright, so this chapter is just invasion of Soul Society. and Kubo is just. I feel like I'm repeating myself every week now with this, but he is just going darker, edgier, and crazier. You know, I don't know how many chapters, 493 chapters of Bleach, and in one chapter, probably more characters have died in this chapter than all the other chapters. So basically, the Wandan race is invading Soul Society. Yamamoto is gearing up. Everybody is gearing up for them, and it's just crazy. The big shocker of the chapter for everybody, I know for a fact it has to be, is what happens to I believe he's one of the vice captains or something, lieutenants, Kita. He gets his arm and a piece of his body blown off, and just seeing his shock on his face, I'm like, wow. This is what you call war, people. This is like no holds bar. Now, a couple different things I want to discuss. First of all, I wish they would have shown Buckbeard, even if it was like a panel or two or a page. I just wanted to see a little bit of Buckbeard because, you know, he was just shown hanging over Soul Society, and then we didn't really see much of him, you know, since. Now, I still think that is just some craziness, but in pattern of what Kubo has been doing recently, like, it's kind of like he's been reinventing certain things that he did before and doing it a little bit crazier. Like, for example, a couple chapters ago, when Buckbeard and a couple of his subordinates were there, it almost seemed like he reenacted a scene where Aizen, Tozen, and I believe it was Grimjow, yeah, where the arm cut off thing, it was very similar. Now, this Kita guy, I'm wondering if it's something similar with his whole arm and stuff getting cut off and his Ryatsu disappearing, if it could have anything to do with how Aizen tricked everyone into thinking he was dead. It's possible that Kita could be an inside trader or something, and this is just a leap, you know, just me throwing it out there, that it could definitely be. Don't, you know, be quick to say, oh, Kita's dead, you know. This guy seems mysterious. A couple of the new characters seem a little bit suspicious, so just throwing it out there. It could potentially be a recreation of the whole Aizen thing. Who knows? That could be Aizen. Maybe the Wandan race guy already released him or something, or is releasing him. I don't know, but either way, there's something off about that whole thing, like this tragic thing. Maybe it's just me, but either way, 1,000 deaths, 7 minutes. Like, this chapter was just, oh man, and it ends off with a little panel of Ichigo. They probably could have thrown in a panel 2 more, but either way, it was mostly just like information and scrambling around. Soul Society doesn't know what to do. Yamamoto is leaving another suspicious guy in charge of everything. I don't know, just this chapter, I felt like a lot of suspicion of the characters and everything, like their secret motives, I almost feel as though. And even like certain things. I was happy to see Rukia though. Like, that was one of the things that she's like going down there, not sure what she can do, because if we see the power of these characters, you know, Buckbeard and his crew, the Wandan race, I believe there was 6 of them introduced in this chapter. I don't know really what she could possibly do, because we know Rukia isn't the most strongest. She was granted, you know, promoted to lieutenant, but can she really tangle with the Wandan race? Things aren't looking too good. Either way, craziness. This chapter is like, wow, 1,000 deaths, 7 minutes. I'm gonna keep saying that because Kubo, he's on another level right now. Fullbring stuff is beneath him. Kubo is on another level right now of greatness, and this arc is something special. It's and I'm talking about like murder and death as something special, but it's gotten way darker. It's gotten way just way more edgier, way more like, when this comes to America in the future, in years and years, whenever this volume gets here, I know people are going to just be like, wow, my series that I've been reading this long has gotten very dark. And I definitely, I enjoyed the chapter. It was something different. It didn't have like crazy sword swinging and anything like that, but it was just the information of what the Wandan race is doing in such a short amount of time, and how Soul Society is just hopeless. It's like, what can be done? Ichigo is right now fighting Kurge. Yamamoto, who knows really how much he can do against this guy, and there's so many of them. It's looking very, very good that, well, I guess good in a way, but Aizen might return, people. I'm seeing that their options are waning. You know, of course, we still got all the captains. You know, we still got Byakuya, we still got Kenpachi, we still got all of them, but I don't know, it's gonna be crazy. It's looking more and more like they're gonna need extra help, and Aizen, can he be trusted? Who knows if he's behind any of this? But, oh man, this was a crazy chapter, awesome chapter. If you've been wanting to hear about and see death in Bleach, there you go, 494. Let me know what you thought of the chapter. What do you think of Kita and that whole thing with his arm and getting blown right there through his chest and stuff? What do you think? Do you think there's something suspicious about any of these characters? Possibly a reenactment of Kubo going back and trying to do what he did with Aizen back in Soul Society, faking deaths and all this craziness with the Shikais. Just awesomeness. Let me know what you thought of the chapter, though. That's all I have for this review. I know I'm stunned. I seem stunned, but I just didn't expect this from Bleach. And keep up the good work. If you ever watch this video, Kubo, keep up the good work. It's getting very intense with Bleach 495. Things is going down, and the Stern Ritters are attacking. Again in this chapter, no Buckbeard, which I guess they're saving him for later, because the last we saw of him was like 2 chapters ago, and we still didn't see none of him in this chapter, but we saw a lot of the captains are gearing up, and I was just like, the battles is getting intense. We see the Stern Ritters, they're going after some of the captains are stopping them. And I just can't wait for, things to really go down, because it started off little by little. We see Renji fight one of them. We see, I believe, Byakuya standing in front of one of them. And I was just like, oh, I can't wait to see how all this is going to play out. Now, from the looks of it, it looks like Soul Society doesn't stand a chance. Like, the captains are going to have a terrible time trying to stop them, but we still don't know. And that's the most, exciting thing, to see exactly how strong these Stern Ritters are. Now, Rojiro, the captain of, that led the squad that, ultimately Kita was a part of, that, he died or whatever. He is very angry, or I guess not very angry, but sad, and he's, about to go at one of the Stern Ritters, and I can't wait to see how that goes down, because I'm sure him being, upset about the loss of Kita is going to definitely help him get a lot stronger, or not a lot stronger, but help motivate him, shall I say, to defeat the Stern Ritters. And one of the Stern Ritters that looked the coolest to me, and, just, I guess saying, is, I believe is Nod with a T at the end. I don't know how to exactly pronounce it, but he looks really cool and looks very ferocious. I think that's going to be the Stern Ritter that's going to be the strongest of the ones we've seen so far, because it looks like a very ferocious opponent, I guess you could say. And I just want to really see how everything is going to go down. This chapter, for the most part, it started off little fights here or there, the guy jumping in back of Renji and whatnot. And by the way, I want to see how much Renji improved. That's one of the things with this whole chapter that I really hope, or the next chapter, shall I say, we get to see is, I want to see how much Renji improved, because when they went up against the Fullbringers, the last arc, we didn't really see much at all, because it was just like a 1-2, I'm going to hit you with my hilt and it's going to be over. So that's one of the things I want to see. I want to see how much Renji improved. We've seen Byakuya for the most part when he went up against Tsukishima, and we saw a little bit of it, but they're going to be pushed to the limit with this one. These fights, I can tell that these Stern Ritters are not joking around. It's going to be crazy. We didn't get to see none of Ichigo or any of that situation. I think it's been put on the back burner for the moment, but either way, the Stern Ritters are not playing around, and it's just, this chapter was very intense in my opinion. I really enjoyed seeing everything go down the way it did. Hopefully next chapter, the battles start going on the way, and we get to see, I wonder what happened with Rukia, because remember, she was going down to that light, and I'm going to say this one time and one time only. If Kubo kills off Rukia, I am going to be very upset. I don't want that happening, but you never know. This is the world of Bleach. Anything could possibly happen, and I'm just excited. The battle started going on the way, and seeing these Stern Ritters are actually formidable opponents and not going to be toyed with. They're just killing left and right all the regular Shinigamis, and it was kind of interesting to see even some of the Shinigamis running away. And I forget who it was, said something like, you're not supposed to be running away, you're supposed to protect the people of Soul Society, you're supposed to protect the Seireitei. And I was like, they're running away. Craziness in the chapter, not as crazy as the past couple ones, but it was still pretty awesome, and just got me hyped for the next one to see the battles underway, see exactly how strong these Stern Ritters are and how everything is going to go, because it's looking pretty intense, and it's looking like Soul Society got a real serious problem on their hands if they can't take these guys down. Let me know what you thought of the chapter. Which Stern Ritter you think looked the most strongest, and that's going to give the most problem? And do you think any of the captains are going to lose, or any of them, in particularly any of the Shinigamis? Renji, I don't know how much he can do. He's not even at captain level. Byakuya is probably going to put in work. Kojiro, I think that's how you say his name. He's probably going to definitely go crazy, because, Kita's dead. But I don't know if they could really take them down easily. We're just going to have to see what happens. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up if you're excited for the next Bleach chapter, because just set in motion the things that's gonna happen and what's gonna follow. Wow, the Stern Ritters are not playing in Bleach chapter 496. Alright, so this chapter for the most part was displaying a little bit more about the Stern Ritters and just their awesome power, and basically their power to steal bankai. And I'm just like, yo, the Stern Ritters are quickly becoming just epic. And what did I tell you guys? The guy Nod DT, I don't know how to pronounce that, but I said is my favorite Stern Ritter thus far, and he was just crazy in this chapter. We got Byakuya and Renji looking scared of these guys. I'm like, where are you gonna see this at? Where are you gonna see the fearless Captain Byakuya, no emotion showing dude, to be able to be scared of the Stern Ritters, of anybody for that matter? But the Stern Ritters, just like, these are some crazy people. Nod T, however you say his name, is like just epic. He even had a little smile when he stole the bankai. Now this is crazy because the captains have a little strategy, and you can see that it's kind of like, wow, what do they do? Because at first, Byakuya and them thought that it was a seal. Toshiro's telling Matsumoto that, you know, there's 4 captains, and they're all planning, like, they're telling, Byakuya tells Renji, if he seals my bankai, then use yours to defeat him. Toshiro told Matsumoto that. And I'm looking at the plan like, you know, you're the captain. If you go down, what makes you think that they're going to be able to do something? But it was, you know, them coming up with a plan nonetheless, because they're under attack. They got to do something. So, you know, I give it to them that they need a plan and whatnot. They have to do something. But I think it wasn't thought all the way through, because, you know, you're the captain. If you couldn't do it, what makes you think that Matsumoto, Renji going to do it? But either way, I was just like, wow. So now Byakuya's bankai was stolen. Does that mean he no longer has his bankai? And what's going to happen then if he can't use Senban Sakura? This is just crazy. It looks like it's going to be Renji versus Nod T, and Matsumoto versus those. Oh man, the Stern Ritters are making this crazy. This war is becoming so epic. I am just enjoying it and loving it. Again, a little bit more, I guess, of a setup to just display the Stern Ritters, but we got a little bit more out of it. Like, we see the captains are in fear. They're mocking the Go Tier 13. These are the villains we needed for a long time in Bleach, and we got them. They're displaying that their power is not to be played with at all. They're stealing bankais. They're mocking the Go Tier 13. They're, you know, just making Byakuya Kuchiki, one of the most fearless people, shaking his boots, so to speak. I am just like, Stern Ritters for the win, people. Stern Ritters for the win. This chapter 496 definitely was just displaying once again that they're not to be played with, and these are some really good villains we got on our hands, people. This is some really good villains. I don't know how the captains are going to have a really bad time if they are going to, you know, surpass them and defeat them and whatnot. It could possibly be, you know, for all I could see them taking over Soul Society and Soul Society retreating. That's how crazy I see these Stern Ritters. It's possible that they won't win these battles. Hopefully they win the war, but I don't think they'll win these battles. It's possible Soul Society might have to retreat and attack again some later time. What do you think about that? Do you think that Soul Society is going to lose this battle and then come back to try to win the war? Let me know in the comment section below. Favorite moment, what do you think about this whole thing? Are the Stern Ritters the villains we've been needing for a while? And what do you think of just what they did in this chapter? Stealing bankai is just craziness. Let me know in the comment section below. Video response, Bleach 496. Loving the way this arc is going. Every chapter keeps getting crazier. Again, this chapter really just displayed the Stern Ritters and their fearsome power, and that they're not to be played with. It's a great time to be a Bleach fan, especially after Bleach 497. Another setup chapter, but definitely increasing a lot of different things. Intensity. We just seen the captains scramble once more, and it's just crazy to see because they're just going like, what do we do? They're at a loss. And one of the things in this chapter that I definitely took away was I kind of wanted to smack Renji in the face, to be honest with you, because he just saw Byakuya lose his bankai when he took it out. Why would you immediately after say bankai? That was just kind of silly of him. But other than that, this chapter just definitely had me on like, I guess that's the best way to describe it. Shunsui was one of my favorite parts of this chapter, particularly because he went up against one of the Stern Ritters, and he's already getting wrecked. He gets knocked in the face. You see blood splatter, and it's just getting intense. The Stern Ritters are definitely meeting my expectations on, some awesome villains, because they got everyone scrambling. They got everyone like unsure of what to do. How do they handle this situation? And I don't know what's going to happen, because headquarters is calling Ichigo. Even though I guess they're apprehensive about it. They don't really want to. I don't think they really want to call Ichigo for stuff or whatnot, but like they're just like, no, I don't care. We got to call him right now. And thing is, he's still tied up. He's still fighting, I believe, on the battlefield with Kurge, so they can't really even call him, and they don't know how to handle anything, because these are the type of enemies you need Bankai if you want to stand a chance against them, and they can't summon Bankai. But based off the past couple chapters as well, it's kind of seemingly that very few people are going to be able to stand up to anybody. I'm sure Kenpachi is going to be able, like, one of them. And to be honest with you, if I wanted to put it into perspective, so like that you could understand, it's kind of looking like if you've ever seen Dragon Ball Z, the Cell games, where the Cell Juniors were attacking, and literally the only two people that could defend themselves on the battlefield, outside of Gohan, was, I believe, Vegeta and Trunks, because Goku was all injured. If you want to put it into that perspective, because Kenpachi, he could fight like at Bankai level without Bankai, so he's one that could help out. Ichigo doesn't need his Bankai as well, and he can still, even though I believe Ichigo, they can't take his Bankai. I remember when early on in the arc already, Ichigo, they tried to take his Bankai and they couldn't. So even regardless of what Ichigo can defend himself, Kenpachi can defend himself. Possibly Ikkaku can defend himself. I'm thinking probably Ikkaku. So those are really the only Shinigamis that I can think of off the top of my head right now that can defend themselves. Yamamoto probably could defend himself as well without, anything like that. So there's really a few Shinigamis that can defend themselves, but other than that, everyone is helpless. They can't use Bankai. It's going to get sucked away. Renji, again, needed a smack for yelling Bankai after that, because what are you doing? What are you doing? Shunsui is getting already knocked in the face. Things are looking crazy. Every chapter that passes by, I'm more and more thinking, they're gonna need Aizen. They're gonna need Aizen. Buckbeard surprised me a little bit, because I kind of seen him as this heartless guy. And when they were scrambling and looking at, I believe, one of the captains or one of the Shinigamis that got knocked out or is dead, I'm not sure either or. I believe it was the noob that kind of looks like Aizen in a way. And Buckbeard is telling one of his men, if you think that leaving them alive is better off than go, if they're going to be happy being alive, then leave them. So I'm a little shocked by Buckbeard. I kind of seen him more as a more kill whatever, do whatever it takes. But then again, who knows exactly what's his agenda and whatnot. But this chapter was definitely it was a setup chapter, had a little bit of action in it. Shunsui getting knocked in the face, blood everywhere. Just intense. Seeing the captain scrambling is crazy. Kurosuchi is going nuts. He's like, I needed more time, because, he want to assess how are they stealing the Bankais and how he can stop them from doing so. And yeah, this was just a pretty awesome setup chapter. Looking forward to seeing more of the action. Hopefully, I kind of want to see what's going on the other side with Ichigo and Kurge, so I want to see that within the next chapter, hopefully. See a little bit of that battle and just see what the captains are going to do, because like I said, there's only a handful of people that really can stand up to these guys. I believe the visors, the ex-visors, whatever you want to call them now, I believe they might be able, Shinji and them, to do something, because they do have hollow powers. They have the hollow and whatnot, so maybe they can stand up to them as well. We just really got to wait and see, to be honest with you, because everything is up in the air. These chapters is throwing a little bit of mystery, a little bit of intensity, showing more of the Stern Ritters and exactly how beasts they truly are, and all of that combined. That's really what this chapter was. Let me know what you thought of it. Do you think anyone outside of the people I listed, Kenpachi, Ichigo, Yamamoto, and possibly Kaku, can stand up to these Stern Ritters without Bankai? Let me know in the comment section below, video response, and just your overall thoughts of this chapter. Do you think the Stern Ritters are too much for the captains without Bankai? I'm ForneverWorld. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up if you can't wait to see more epic battles in Bleach, because right now I got my Bleach fanboy hat on. To be honest with you, I'm really enjoying Bleach every week. I I just can't wait for it every week. The Quincy's are scared of the Bankais. Alright, Bleach 498, a couple different things happened. For the most part, I was excited because we got to see more of the Ichigo versus Kurage fight, and we haven't seen it in about a month, maybe more, so I was glad to see that again. We didn't get any of the captains or any of the Stern Ritters that were in Soul Society, which I was like, I kind of wanted to see that, but nonetheless, what went down in this chapter was like pretty intense because, first of all, Kurage going up against Ichigo, I'm surprised that the tables had turned because at first I thought really Kurage was just going to be too OP. Ichigo was going to have a really hard time with him, but apparently Ichigo is really dominating him and he's no match for him. He's stumbling, bumbling, and I'm like, wow. So Ichigo really definitely improved a lot, or either that or just really these people are just no match against the Bankais. And Ichigo tells him, are you guys scared of the Bankais? And he's like, no, we're not scared of anything. And it was kind of crazy that Kiske, because he gets a call from Soul Society from one of the guys, Akon, and he's telling, you know, him the situation, and they're bantering back and forth. And then out of nowhere, Urahara blasts right through Kurage, and I'm like, Kiske for the win. Kiske going in and basically gives the phone to Ichigo, and Ichigo got to go off now to help Soul Society. Now, there's a couple different things that to me was like, alright, so for starters, Kiske, I guess, is going to take over the fight with him, and I'm interested to see where that's going to go because I don't know, like, he said that his spirit is crumbled now because of Ichigo, and he did a mortal wound to him, so is he going to be able to fight still? Is Kiske going to have to fight him? What's going to happen with that? The whole thing with Kurage, because he didn't look defeated. I mean, he said it was a mortal wound. He blasted right through him, but he was just fell on the ground. And I don't know, is he completely done? And either way, still want to see if Kiske fights him, really. To be honest with you, that's something I want to see. I want to see Kiske in action because he just did one surprise attack from the back. I want to see him do more. Then Ichigo, as far as the whole Bankai thing, I'm curious, what is it about Ichigo that makes him able to, like, not get his Bankai stolen opposed to everyone else? Everyone else seemingly can't, you know, use Bankai because they're going to get stolen. Why can Ichigo? A couple different things, I think, a couple theories. One, it could have something to do with the previous arc with the whole Fullbring thing. Maybe that changed Ichigo to the point where, you know, it's like a combination with him, so they can't steal it. That's possible, which would actually, you know, provide some use of the previous arc and making it a little more valuable with this arc. So maybe it could be that. It could be the hollow powers, but then that would mean all the X-Visors can't really get their Bankai stolen as well, like Shinji and whatnot. So it's possible that'll be revealed later when Shinji goes up in battle and tries to use it. Maybe it's the whole thing of him having, you know, hollow inside of him. And speaking of hollow, I want to see the hollow in action. I want to see Ichigo have to go hollow. I'm sure against Buckbeard he might have to, because, you know, at the end of the day, Buckbeard is a beast. Didn't get to see Buckbeard either in this chapter. Kind of disappointed about that because I wanted to see Buckbeard. But nonetheless, I'm glad that the Ichigo and Kurage fight seems to have come at a standstill in a way. Ichigo kind of is going to, like, leave, and I don't know if Kurage is completely defeated and whatnot. But either way, this war is just getting more intense. I want to see what people can do. Like, can Ichigo be really the only one, probably outside of Zaraki, that can really do anything? Because I don't think they stand any chance against Bankais, and that's what they're scared of. They're trying to take it away. Even Ichigo said it. So, you know, how is all this thing going to play out? Again, I think is either the Fullbring is making it so that they can't steal it from Ichigo, or his, you know, mixed hollow powers within him, which again, Visors would have a good time as well, I guess, because they have, you know, mixed just like Ichigo. Overall, decent chapter. Enjoyed the fight between Ichigo and Kurage, and coming to a close apparently. Is Kurage completely done, or is Urahara going to take his place in the fight? I don't understand how that's going to work, and I just can't wait to see what's going to happen next with the whole thing with Ichigo when it gets to Soul Society. Is he going to get there by the time, you know, are the Stern Ritters going to already have annihilated everybody? You know, how's that whole thing going to go down? And I'm still anticipating the return of Aizen. Every week until we see Aizen, I'm going to be hyping it up because I know he's coming back. I know it's, you know, one guy can't defeat this entire brigade of people, Ichigo. So we're just going to have to wait and see how it's going to play out. Let me know what you thought of the chapter. Is Urahara going to have to fight that guy, Kurage, or is he finished because of the wound that he, you know, was inflicted by? And, you know, how you think everything's going to go on when Ichigo finally arrives at Soul Society. Let me know in the comment section below, or over the video response. Give me your thoughts on Bleach 498. But that's all I have. I'm ForneverWorld. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up if you can't wait to see some more epic battles, because this war This arc has been awesome so far. Yep, it's official. Based off Bleach 499, I am 100% positive that the Stern Ritters and the Vonden race are indeed scared of Ichigo Kurosaki. Alright, so this chapter, there was a bunch of explanation, and some of it did add more clarification than I understood previously, like when Urahara was talking to Soul Society and explaining things. There was a couple things I was like, we already know this, but I guess, you know, Kubo wants to make sure that everybody understands exactly the situation. Could have done without it, but I was a little bit excited because I thought Kurage was kind of done and they were just going to move on, but apparently Kurage is not done, and he's really trying everything with all his ounce to stop Ichigo from getting back to Soul Society to save everybody. First of all, it's kind of funny how they know Ichigo's already friendships with who, because when they're reporting everything to him, they tell him that, don't worry, Rukia and Renji aren't hurt. And he's like, I didn't ask for that, because they know his friendships and whatnot, and I guess they want to reassure him. But there's something about Ichigo, and we still don't really know what it is, that is stopping them from taking the Bankais, and that's why they want to keep him away from Soul Society at all costs, because he's probably one of the only ones that can help. Now, the numbers. There was numbers thrown in here, and I'm like, wow. Apparently, over 2,200 Shinigamis have been killed. And I think that's just a regular Shinigamis. There was, I believe, 16 seats, and a vice captain's race, Ryatsu, has disappeared. And the numbers don't lie. Like, this is definitely, in my opinion, a more tragic and a more harder struggle than the previous war in Bleach. This is indeed the war. Like, these numbers don't lie. That's all I can really say. The numbers don't lie. The chapter, overall, it was okay. I wish we didn't get so much explanation, because there was some of it that I already knew, but some of it was useful, like when Urahara was talking a little bit more about how they can't steal Ichigo's Bankai and whatnot. He dabbled a little information where I was like, okay, clarification, but still didn't really need that. But I just want to see what's going to happen to Ichigo, because in the end of the chapter, Kurage locks him in some sort of dark cage. How is he going to get out of this? Most likely we're going to get, I'm going to say, anywhere from 2 to 8 or 9 chapters at the max, hopefully, of Ichigo trying to get out of this cage, because I don't see how he's going to get out. And also, Chad is fucked up, to put it PG. He is just messed up. He's missing a piece of his hip. Kurage really did him in. Man, Kurage and the Vonden race, all of them, they're just no joke. They're not playing. I just want to see what's going to happen next. That's really what this chapter kind of, it was more so of a half sort of setup to a bit of action, and just made me like, what's going to happen next? How is Ichigo going to get out of that cage and make it to Soul Society? And if he does get to Soul Society, what can he do? Can he really stand up to Buckbeard and everyone, all the Stern Ritters? I don't know. I just want to see more, and hopefully next chapter we see more of the captains going up against the Stern Ritters, because that's something I'm really interested in, especially Asnod, or Asnod T, however you say it. I want to see what's going to go down with that. And overall, just this chapter kind of got me more excited for the future. Again, I had a couple of different things that could have done without, but for the most part, it was interesting, I guess, a bit. Let me know what you thought. How is Ichigo going to get out of that cage? What is all these questions that are thrown at us? There's so many questions. It's just like, wow. But that's all I have for this quick review of Bleach 499. By the way, next week marks a landmark, because chapter 500 chapters of Bleach, still going strong. By the way, latest volume in Japan, for people that say Bleach is dying, Bleach is dead. Debut #1, baby. It was a couple weeks ago. Over 500,000 copies. The best sales Bleach has had in, I believe, 2 years almost. Bleach is alive and well, baby. Place your bets. Place your bets. Who is it that saved Urahara at the very last second? Bleach chapter 500. Alright, so for starters, I want to say congrats to Bleach, Taite Kubo beforehand, because with the utmost respect, 500 chapters, milestone, that's awesome in and of itself, to last for 500 chapters in a magazine, basically going strong for years and years. So shouts out to that. Now this chapter, a couple things went down. First of all, I want to talk about I guess something quite funny to me, Jidanbo, which I believe he's the gatekeeper and whatnot. He's just like rampaging into the fight, I guess, and whatnot. I don't know what's up with him. I guess he doesn't want to wait around and whatnot. So I thought that was kind of funny. Ichigo trapped inside the thing, and he's going crazy, and I don't know if he's developing some sort of awareness or what, because he's hearing everybody's voices, even though he's not hearing it through the phone. He's like hearing everybody. He's like, Renji? Rukia? So he hears everybody's voices. Did he develop some sort of new power? I believe so. Don't know what it is yet, and I believe this is just going to be another obstacle that he's going to overcome and get probably even stronger by it, because he's trapped in this gate right now just as he was about to go to Soul Society. And I love seeing the faces of the captains when they found out Ichigo was going over there, especially Zaraki. She's like, Kurosaki? You know, he's like excited. So, you know, he's going to go help out eventually when he can get out, I guess. But who is it that helped Urahara at the end? That's really one of the big questions in my mind. I'm guessing almost everyone's going to say Grimmjow. There's a couple different problems with the whole Grimmjow theory, for the simple fact that if Haribel got whipped up and dragged away, what makes you think that Grimmjow will stand a better chance? Because, you know, Grimmjow was always weaker. Now, I guess he could have powered up within the time between, you know, his disappearance to now, which would be very interesting to see. So if it is Grimmjow, I'm excited. I don't think it's Grimmjow. It might be maybe Ichigo's dad or somebody else. I'm betting on that. Maybe it's Ichigo's dad, but we'll see. You know, it's either Ichigo's dad or it'll be a crazy shock Grimmjow if it is. I don't know why Kubo would do that. What would Grimmjow's purpose be? Well, I guess, you know, because Hueco Mundo was conquered, so I guess in a way he would feel like helping, but I don't know. I don't see him helping out Ichigo because Grimmjow's just the way he is, but we'll see. Nonetheless, interesting chapter. I like this chapter a lot better than last week's because a couple of different things went down. Jinambu jumping in, like waltzing in, like, hey, I'm about to fight. I love Kurotsuchi's, I guess, reaction and whatnot. He was like, oh, Akon, he went, you know, behind my back and did it anyways or whatever. Because, you know, at the end of the day, they need Ichigo. Everyone's getting, you know, dusted aside. So, of course, they're going to have to get Ichigo. And nonetheless, I wanted to see what happened with Chad and Orihime, because Chad was, like, missing a chunk of his arm and a chunk of his hip. I was like, you know, what's going on with that? And I think Orihime had holes in her, too. So, is Kurge dead as well? That's another question. Is Kurge dead because he was sliced in half and blood was gushing out and everything? And whoever did that beast stuff, by the way, I can't wait to see who it is. But is Kurge dead? I think he might be dead. I don't know, because he was sliced in half, so, you know, he should be done. But then again, there's been crazier stuff happen in Bleach, like, I forget what was her name, the visor, that she got cut in half and, you know, she survived. So I don't know if he's dead exactly, especially with all these powers, but I'm going to assume that he is dead for the simple fact that he got cut in half, so we'll see with that as well. A couple of mysteries. Is Kurge dead, and who was it that sliced him in half? We'll find out in 501. Again, solid chapter. Looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. I doubt it was Uryu. If anybody want to predict as well, I doubt it was Uryu. Like, when does he slice anyone in half, you know? So I don't think it's Uryu, by the way. Crazy stuff. Can't wait to see more. Really interesting. What did you think overall this chapter? You know, just your overall thoughts, because to me, it was pretty awesome. Nice amount of information and whatnot. Well, that's all I have for this quick review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up if you can't wait to see who it is and if Kurge is dead. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.
So just